Please keep your microphones muted. And if you have any questions, type them in the chat box and we will answer them as we go if there are any questions that come up. Also, just a friendly reminder that this is open house and not a parent-teacher conference. So if you have any specific concerns about your child and their academic progress or maybe behaviorally or whatever the case is, go on ahead and send Ms. Abraham or I an email and we can get a parent-teacher conference up and going. So in case you don't know, my name is Ms. Bush, Kelsey Bush. I am the math science teacher for your student, and my email is actually KS Bush. I will change that before I send this out. But ksbush@alvinisd.net. It's on the weekly newsletter in case you need it, and it's also on my teacher website as well.
And I am Mrs. Abraham. I am the ELA and Social Studies teacher, and that is my email, as Fergie's at alvinisd.net.
So a couple of big points that we're going to go over tonight. The first one is Skyward. So what exactly is Skyward, what to be looking for. Then we're going to be talking about Blooms, which a lot of parents are on, but just in case. Then homework and kind of the expectations. What is homework? What are we going to be sending out? And then any random miscellaneous things that we feel are important, such as STAR, some snacks, supplies, and library.
All right, so Skyward. Skyward is our platform for where you're going to see your child's grades. Our goal as teachers is to really try our best to post grades once a week. So what we're doing in class, you're going to see them in the Tuesday folder, as well as grades on Skyward. Anything that you receive in your child's Tuesday folder that is below a 70 can be corrected and returned. That is for Ms. Bush and myself. So if you're if you have any questions or you're concerned about your child's grade, please reach out to us so we can kind of clarify some things and offer some guidance. On Skyward, you're also able to see the number of absences, tardies, and any discipline referrals throughout the year if there are any issues like that. But that is basically our platform that's pretty important to stay updated with how your student is doing. If you have questions, you're not really sure how to get on Skyward, how to check those things, I know Ms. Bush is the person to ask. I am still learning myself. So I know she would be happy to help you, and I will try my best to help you as well.
So just to piggyback off of what Ms. Abraham said, last year was the first year that your child had received actual letter grades that correlate with a number. I know that K through second, they kind of have a 1, 2, 3, 4 scale, where in third grade, they begin to actually having those like standard grades that we are used to seeing as adults. So just a quick little reminder of what those grades actually mean. If your child has an A, that means that it is for anywhere from a 90 to a 100. And this means that they have total mastery of that skill and they can think deeper about that skill or that concept. A's are not necessarily the goal, because that means that they are completely independent. And on top of that, they have a much deeper understanding than what we are asking for in our everyday class. A B is kind of where we're shooting for, which is that 89 to 80 range. That means that they've mastered the concept. They're able to do it independently, and they don't really need a whole lot of help with it. C is a scary letter and number to see, but it doesn't mean anything bad. That is between a 79 and a 75. And that just means that they understand the concept. That is your average student. Most students, that just means that they get it. They don't necessarily have it completely mastered. They're still making some mistakes. There is still room for improvement, but for the most part, they are understanding. A D, 74 to 70, they are struggling, and that we as teachers know that there is going to be some small group instruction that needs to be done, so that we can kind of fix those misconceptions, whatever they're struggling with, and really help them get to that C or B level. And then finally, F, the super scary one that everybody hates, that 69 or less, that just means that our students are not understanding what the concept is and definitely need some work, whether that is on that specific concept or if it's something even less foundational, something from maybe a previous grade level or something that we just need a little extra work on. So just kind of to let you know what exactly these numbers and letters mean, this is it. And you don't need to write this down or take notes. We are going to send this out as soon as our second round of virtual Meet the Teacher or open house is finished. It will be posted with this video as well. Also, just to piggyback off of what Miss Abraham said for Skyward, if you don't remember how to log in, or maybe you don't remember your password, the easiest thing to do first is to hit the forgot password button. Try to reset your password, put in an email that you think is the one that you've been using for Skyward, reset it, and 9 times out of 10, that's all that it needs. So just a little piggyback on that.
Okay, so Blooms. As many of you know, Blooms is where Miss Bush and I post announcements and reminders, as well as our weekly newsletter. This is also the easiest way to kind of communicate with us daily about, if your child is going to be absent or if maybe there's something you want us to know that happened that morning. Blooms is the easiest way to message and to let us know. So the good thing about Blooms is that we're both part of each other's Blooms. So if you are in one homeroom, we're going to add you to the other. So you don't have to do both, right, Miss Bush?
Yes. So
Okay.
there's one homeroom. So if you're in Miss Abraham's homeroom, you should be in Miss Abraham's Blooms, and I am a teacher on there. So we are still going to be able to communicate. You will still see all of my posts and everything. But that's just so that you don't have to keep flipping from one teacher to another. Everything is just on that one Blooms. Everybody gets the same thing. It's just helping us differentiate from one homeroom to the other.
Mm-hmm. And we do periodically check this throughout the day. I know I try my best to look at it at least once a day. If I don't respond, I know Miss Bush is really good, but definitely by the end of that day, we will address any of your concerns or any messages that you have sent us. So that's the easiest way to stay communicated.
Homework. So Miss Abraham sends out a weekly reading log, which she can talk about in just a second because I am unlearned in that. I don't exactly know what the reading log is. However, I can speak on the weekly math. This week, we actually don't have any math homework because it is a 4-day week and it's kind of been crazy. However, they will get their math homework for next week, which is also a 4-day week. They'll get that on Thursday. And so basically the math homework is 5 questions every night. It's going to be a page that's on some sort of bright colored paper so that they don't lose it in the shuffle of everything. And it is like in little rows. So like there's a Monday row that has 5 questions, a Tuesday row that has 5 questions, a Wednesday. And on the back, there's a Thursday and a Friday row. The last row on the back is more for me. And for the students as we check it on Fridays. We haven't gotten to that part yet. I plan on getting to it, hopefully in the second grading period. We will see, but that bottom section on the back is not any kind of homework or anything like that. The reason why we're doing this is because I'm sure, as you know, there are some concepts that we go over very quickly. And so these are the ways that we can make sure that it stays in the front of their brain and making sure that they are able to remember it later down the road whenever we ask them, hey, do you remember when we did this like 3 months ago? And they're like, yeah, we did it at homework last week. Perfect. Same thing as before, as far as the corrections, anything that is below a 70 can be corrected. That would be done during homework time. We don't have enough time in the day to give them extra time during our class time to do any corrections. With that said, if a student has questions on why did they get something wrong or that they truly don't understand, then at that point, have your student come to us, or you can Bloom's message or email us and let us know, like, hey, we were working on this assignment yesterday for corrections. They really don't understand it. Is there a good time where maybe we can talk and you can kind of let me know as the parent how to approach this? Or is there a time during the day that maybe you can pull them aside and kind of reteach it really quickly and make sure that because they just don't understand it? So that is something that we can do, but the corrections are considered homework because we just really honestly don't have a ton of time during the day to give any extra time to do any corrections. Also, we are encouraging parents and students to continue to work on Imagine Math and Imagine Learning outside of school. We are only able to give them so much time during the day. And so the goal before the STAR test at the end of the year is for them to pass 30 lessons on both Imagine Math and Imagine Learning. The reason behind that is there is a lot of research and data that was put into this. And the data shows that if a student can pass 30 lessons, the likelihood of them passing the STAR at the end of the year goes up exponentially. It means that they have not only gotten taught the material in class, but they've also had a separate lesson with it on either Imagine Math or Imagine Learning on that topic. And it will go through all of the major TEKs that are taught in the classroom. So that's just another thing. If maybe you're like, this homework is only taking them 25 minutes to do, and I need for them to be busy for another 30, have them get on Imagine Math and Imagine Learning. Ms. Abraham, do you want to talk more about the reading log?
Yes, absolutely. So studies show that the more words that children are exposed to, the bigger that their vocabulary is going to develop. So as Ms. Bush talked about, our main goal is not just to pass a STAR, although that is very, very important, and we will talk about that. But we want them to become better readers, better writers, and just overall better learners. So I strongly encourage students to read 20 minutes every single day. I know that the reading log says that it's due on Friday, but those 4 days out of the week, they should be reading 20 minutes. And it's a book of their choice. There's not really like a specific type of book that I'm like, okay, you have to read this. So if they have books at home, all students go to the library every Monday. They choose 2 to 3 library books. That's an option that they should be reading. The other part of the reading log is the response. So our big push this year is responding to reading and making sure that students are thinking in their reading. So we've gone through this a couple times in class, but students should not be writing like 1 or 2 word answers for their response. It should be a paragraph with complete sentences, capital letters, periods, and it should make sense. Like have them read it to you, see what else they can add to it. And I'm only requiring a 1 paragraph response per week. So it's something that they can work on a little bit each day. Maybe have them read on Monday, pick a question on Tuesday, and then start the response Tuesday, Wednesday, so they can be ready to turn in for Friday. I don't want it to be something like super stressful. But if you're finding that your student is kind of struggling or rushing, please have them bring me their reading log and I'll be happy to go over another example with them. But know that we have gone over quite a few examples of how to respond in our reading log so that they should know how to write a paragraph response.
And just to piggyback off of what Miss Abraham said, and I told the students this actually today, that math is no longer just computation. It is no longer just can you add, can you subtract, can you multiply, can you divide. It is now, here is a story, here is a situation. What would you do? And so just because this isn't a reading class, there is a lot of reading that comes with 4th grade math and 4th grade science. And so I highly encourage my students to read whenever they are finished. If they are a fast finisher, get out a book and read. I do ask them to bring their library books to my class as well. That way they can read. I am an avid reader. I love reading. I think that it's amazing. It did take me a while to love reading, but I do as an adult. And so I'm trying to encourage students, even though you're in a math class, you still need to be reading because, like Miss Abraham said, the more words that they get exposed to a day, the better they're going to be, just period overall.
Okay, sorry, excuse me. So just some other things that we wanted to cover. The first thing is STAR. So as Ms. Bush said, we will be sending this PowerPoint to you. And this is a link that you can click. It kind of just goes over the resources and expectations of what fourth graders are going to be learning, what they're going to be tested on. They will be taking the STAR test in both math and reading. The writing portion of the fourth grade test is no longer there, but they will be required to write responses, which is why we're practicing how to write complete sentences, how to show your thinking in writing. So that is there for you to look at, and we are slowly working towards STAR and working towards building those skills so that they will be prepared much closer to when we take the STAR in May. So know that those resources are there and there's practice tests available. There's questions, and if you would like more resources, please feel free to reach out to us if that is something that you're kind of wanting to know more about. Snack. So we do have snack daily at 10 a.m. And we're encouraging that snack to be a healthy snack that is quick and not super messy. It's a working snack, so they're still reading, they're still doing math as they're eating. But I give my students probably like 10 minutes to eat. So it's not like something that should take them a long time. The less sugar, the better, because sugar definitely gets our students more hyper, and it's just what we've seen. Along with that, library. So every Monday, both classes go to library together. This is when they check their books back in, they check out new books. And those are books that they can bring home. And we encourage students to bring those home so that they have books to read during the week. We also wanted to keep you aware to be on the lookout for parent-teacher conference info. We will be sending that out shortly via Bloom's, a sign-up time and a sign-up sheet, so that we can talk to you a little bit more individually about your child and about their needs.
All right. So before we